The Houthi rebels in Yemen are intensifying their attacks on cargo ships going through the Red Sea. What will this do to the global economy? To help us understand how vital this shipping lane is, we have Jim, a supply chain consultant and economic analyst. Jim, thank you so much for joining us. Great to have you on the show.
Hi, it's great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
To begin, Danish shipping company Maersk is pausing all container shipments through the Red Sea. This is after a missile attack by the Houthi rebels. How big of a deal is this move by Maersk?
It's a very big deal. And it's not only Maersk, we're also seeing the German company Hapag-Lloyd suspending all shipments as well through the end of the weekend. And they're going to make another decision after that time. It's a very big deal. Approximately $8 to $10 billion of commerce flows through the Red Sea every single day. 8 million barrels of oil flows through the Red Sea every day. And it's a huge obstacle to global trade right now, especially if you consider what's happening in the Panama Canal, which is operating at 50% capacity because of the drought that they're having down there, and the Panama Canal is at record low levels. So they're having to delay ships and have ships go through with fewer and fewer pieces of cargo on them. So between the Red Sea and the Panama Canal, we're looking at a supply chain crisis that will rival what we saw during COVID.
Wow. And on that note, how are global supply chains changing in response to the war in Gaza and the extensions there? And how can we expect to see that continue to change?
Well, the first thing is that we're very fortunate that the war started in October. If it had started in August, the Houthis would have stolen Christmas because we would have seen delays in shipments for things being transported to the United States and other parts of the world for Christmas purchases. We're kind of fortunate right now that this is a slower time for the economy, but if they close down the Red Sea and we see commerce no longer go through there, what we're going to see are ships having to go around the Cape of Good Hope, around the southern tip of Africa, and also around the southern tip of South America as the Panama Canal continues its issues. So we're going to see delays in the supply chain. What that's also going to lead to is congestion at various ports. And the ports of the United States are two of the, our busiest ports in the United States are the two worst ports in the world when it comes to efficiency. So any backup there just leads to more and more trouble for the American economy.
And now to one of your earlier points, what is the price tag fallout of all of this?
Well, again, through the Red Sea, we see between $8 and $10 billion a day of commerce go through there. So any delay can lead to more of a global recession that we're seeing, more of a global slowdown, given the economy that we're seeing in the United States, what we're seeing in China, and what we're seeing in Europe. We can't really sustain that right now. So we need this to stay open. What we really need to see is the Biden administration take a very bold action, something out of the page book of, say, President Reagan or President Trump. President Reagan, when Iran was doing this in the Arabian Gulf, he basically sunk half the Iranian Navy and destroyed two of their oil platforms. President Trump, when Iran was doing stuff like this, he dropped the mother of all bombs in Syria to demonstrate to them that we won't tolerate this. I don't want to go to war with Iran. That's the last thing I want. But we need to send a major message to Iran, who backs the Houthis, who are behind all this, that we will not tolerate it, and we're tired of it, and they have to stop or suffer the consequences.
Jim, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.